Every year, over 100,000 massive cargo ships cut through the center of the globe. They are the physical circulatory system of modern civilization, and the vast majority of them are sailing through the Indian Ocean. This map illustrates the density of maritime trade routes around the world. In 2017 alone, global merchandise exports reached over $17 trillion. Nearly two-thirds of that entire volume transited this single body of water. The nations bordering these waters are industrializing at an intense pace. Economic projections show that by 2033, the Indian Ocean will directly connect 21 of the 25 largest trillion-dollar economies on Earth. The center of global commerce has definitively moved away from the Atlantic. The Indian Ocean is the economic foundation of the 21st century. Looking at this map of the Indian Ocean basin, you can see how geography creates a unique problem. The Pacific and the Atlantic are open from pole to pole. The Indian Ocean is a cage. To the north, a massive continental wall forces all maritime traffic into highly confined spaces. Every barrel of oil and every shipping container moving east or west has to squeeze through narrow, treacherous straits, the Suez Canal, the Red Sea, and the Strait of Malacca. The sheer volume passing through these gaps is staggering. Nearly 40% of global offshore oil is produced in this basin. Over 23 million barrels flow through the Strait of Malacca alone every single day. When a system is this tightly constrained, it is intensely fragile. Recent drone and missile strikes by Houthi militants in the Red Sea proved that a localized conflict can instantly sever these energy highways. When the Red Sea becomes too dangerous, ships are forced to take a massive 2-week detour around the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa. That burns vast quantities of extra fuel, heavily restricts global shipping capacity, and spikes both inflation and insurance premiums across the globe. A single blocked strait immediately translates into delayed manufacturing and higher prices worldwide. Right in the center sits India. Its coastline jets 2,000 kilometers into the busiest shipping lanes on the planet. To secure the eastern gate, India uses the Andaman and Nicobar Ecumans as an advanced motion detector, locking down the Strait of Malacca. These islands are physically isolated, surrounded by pristine reefs and dense jungle, but their exact coordinates make them premier forward operating bases. To the west, India has established a mirror strategy. The Lakshadweep archipelago, utilizing the newly commissioned INS Jatayu, stands sentry over the Arabian Sea, watching the approaches from the Persian Gulf. India is systematically converting its exposed geographic flanks into an active defense screen to monitor foreign fleets and protect its own economic survival. That monitoring is necessary because the Indian Ocean is rapidly militarizing. The primary driver of this tension is China's energy deficit. 80% of Beijing's imported crude oil must transit these waters to reach Chinese ports. To ensure those tankers cannot be blockaded, Beijing has poured capital into a string of pearls strategy. China now operates or holds ownership in 91 active port projects around the globe, creating a logistical chain from the Middle East to the South China Sea. These are deep-water infrastructure investments, like the strategic port of Gwadar in Pakistan, which give China persistent physical access across the region. Allied navies are countering this expansion with permanent footprints. The United States and UK stage bombers at Diego Garcia. Japan operates out of Djibouti. Australia is upgrading its airfield on the Xopos Islands to project maritime surveillance deep into the basin. In response to this crowding, India formalized its maritime strategy under a framework known as SAGAR, an initiative to provide patrol ships, coastal radar, and disaster relief to smaller island nations, stepping up as the region's net security provider. The result is a claustrophobic naval chessboard. The world's superpowers are locked in an accelerating arms race to guarantee their access to global energy routes. The next major theater of conflict in the Indian Ocean involves the invisible, fiber optic infrastructure of the modern internet. This map shows how subsea data cables follow the exact same geographic paths as the shipping lanes. They all converge and squeeze through the very same shallow choke points. This convergence creates a massive vulnerability. Severing a handful of cables in a narrow strait wouldn't just delay physical cargo, it would sever the data flows powering artificial intelligence, cripple global financial transactions, and blind international communications. Nations positioned at these bottlenecks hold the physical power to disrupt the global data network, granting them immense leverage over the digital and financial order. India's survival is tied to these waters. 95% of its trade volume moves by sea. During the Cold War, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans were the primary theaters of global competition. Today, the sheer volume of wealth, energy, and data flowing between East and West has relocated that center of gravity. Today, India finds itself geographically and economically locked at the absolute, undeniable center of this massive global system. It commands the trade road, but it is also completely exposed to anyone who seeks to disrupt it. Mastering the Indian Ocean is no longer optional. As India projects its power to secure these waters, its central geography becomes the pivot point for the global order.